Alright, what's up everyone? Today we are in Soho. We're going to be walking down Prince Street, doing a complete tour of the Soho neighborhood up into Midtown Manhattan. We're currently standing across one of the most famous pizza places here in Soho, which is Prince Street Pizza. Usually there's even a longer line outside, but it is quite cold today. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. This is the corner of Mott Street, and we're going to be headed over towards Broadway. As you know, this is a very trendy neighborhood, known for a lot of its boutique shopping, as well as fine dining. As you cross Mulberry, there's going to be this sushi place on the right called Momoya. And this is a pretty solid spot. It's a little pricey, but once in a while, I think it's worth it. You'll see the building here in just a moment. This is actually really quite nice looking. I always love to see the locally owned bodegas, corner stores, Soho Garden. Kind of makes the neighborhood look a little bit less corporate. But as you can see as we're walking down, it's just shop after boutique, tons of shopping all over. There used to be this Stussy place here, but I think it's closed. We'll have to investigate that a little bit further as the video goes on. But here you have it right on the corner of Prince Street and Mulberry. This is a really, really good sushi store called Momoya. Now let's see, there's usually a crazy line for this Stussy, but it looks like, oh, reopening, got it. So it's reopening on the 20th of February. This is a very popular clothing store. It's especially popular amongst South Koreans. So for whatever reason, Prince Street and Mulberry Street, this store, Stussy, is extremely popular. Perhaps it's just undergoing a few renovations, I have no idea, but I'd presume so. This is now the corner of Lafayette Street. And Prince. This restaurant is pretty solid. There's tons of locations around New York. This is I think it's Ambrosier's. There's a spot on the Upper East Side of Manhattan, which is quite nice.
Yeah.
I think you have the traditional restaurant right here, and then this is more of the cafe where you can get a coffee, different Italian pastries and things like that. Croissants are sold here. This is right on the corner of Prince. And this is more of the pure play restaurant. You can get brunch here, breakfast, lunch, dinner. It's also quite an interesting cocktail lounge and bar as well. We're now headed southbound, but we're going to make a right here at the corner. Looks like a huge line for some sort of a pop-up down there. But now we're looking into Lower Manhattan. That big building you see in the distance, that is 8 Spruce Street, which has an interesting design. It's kind of like a wavy design down the facade. That's looking down into Lower Manhattan, City Hall. This area is always extremely busy during the weekend, particularly for nightlife. This Blank Street is probably the biggest Blank Street coffee I've seen in Manhattan. And then, of course, is that Mimi's frozen yogurt place that always has this unbelievable line that's always wrapped around the block.
I don't want to wait all that long.
I think it's kind of popular on social media. Perhaps it blew up on TikTok or Instagram or something because it's always packed. I'm even surprised that there's a line out the door for Blank Street. This is the corner of Spring and Lafayette, and there's even a long line, which is unusual for Blank Street, but in any event, this is now Jack's wife, Freda. This is also another very popular restaurant. This has some of the best ambiance in terms of its outdoor dining in the summer. If you walk straight down here, in the summer, you'll be able to see everybody dining outside. It's very difficult to get a table, and you just have this beautiful sunset over Lower Manhattan. There you can kind of see the facade of the restaurant, Jack's wife, Freda. And then we'll push a little bit further on, closer to Broadway, where you have the lion's share of the shops. But let me just zoom in real quick on that frozen yogurt place. Look at that. Beautiful cityscape, though. All right, let's move along. This is the 6 train subway station, Spring Street. If you get on the downtown side, you can take this all the way to Brooklyn Bridge City Hall, which is very convenient. It also drops you off at Canal Street too, so if you want to kind of hit Soho, Chinatown, you can pretty much hit everything on the same line. It's very convenient. You can even go all the way back to Grand Central Terminal through the 6 train as well. You'll see a lot of the pedestrian traffic picking up even more because you're getting closer to Broadway. This is Spring Street and Crosby Street. Crosby has one of the beautiful original Belgian block streets that I like. I think all of the kids have off today because it is President's Day. But look at down Crosby Street. Just these incredible Belgian block streets. And that's looking back towards the east side. We'll walk up Crosby Street just a little bit because I want to show you the facade of this building. I always love this building right here. This is the Crosby Street Hotel. Prime SOHO location right here. But let's get back onto Spring Street, everyone. It's the Balthazar. As you can see, once we get close to Broadway, the streets get very, very busy with all the shoppers, pedestrians. This is now the corner of Broadway and Spring. Let's see how busy it is today. Perhaps we'll start off with heading a little bit southbound before we make a U-turn and head north. Okay, this is now Spring Street and Broadway, headed south. You can see the main Lululemon flagship, SOHO, here.
Not like that.
Wow, look at how busy this store is across the street. I'm not too sure what it is, but the line is out the door. I'm trying to think of what the name of that store is. I recognize some of the clothes because they have a boutique location in Greenwich, Connecticut. Much of their clothes are adorned with like American flags. It's kind of like a preppy brand. When we loop back around, we'll try to check it out and read the sign. But you also have the Zara across the street. On our side, you have the Bloomingdale's. And remember, this is headed southbound, so we are headed towards Canal Street.
Today, actually. Wait, so we use literally this will cover like one week.
Here's the Bloomingdale's. Just all of the buildings are really stunning here. Much of them will have cast iron facades. And above many of these will have the quintessential loft style apartments that are often found in Soho. This is the corner of Broome Street. Now on Broome Street there used to be a lot of horse stables, and many of the old horse stables have since been converted into condominiums, believe it or not. If you go ahead and search to some of our property tours, you'll actually see one of the old buildings on Broome Street that was converted into a pretty interesting condominium that I was able to film and tour. If you just go to our playlist of New York City property tours, you can see some of the most stunning apartments in the city. This is the corner of Broome. Look at the facade of that building. Such a striking facade. And those are probably the original fire escapes that have been restored. And that's looking back towards Little Italy. We're now going to cross to the other end of Broadway and now head north. Get a little bit better sun from across the street here. You have Levi's, PacSun.
I guess. And then in the tower, they had a harder
Just showcase some of the buildings, just to give you some perspective of how beautiful of a walk it is. Here's the PacSun store. Oops. Now wait for the UPS guy.
Sorry, guys.
It's hard work. Okay, here's that store that we observed from the other side of the street. Oh, look at how packed it is. They don't have a sign for what it is, but I know what it is. However, I can't remember the name. Anyway, it looks like there's a brand new Abercrombie & Fitch location opening across the street. Oh, Brandy Melville, that's it. Yeah, the only reason why I knew of this brand is because whenever I'm back in Greenwich, there's a boutique of the Brandy Melville in the town of Greenwich, Connecticut, and it's always just a bunch of teenage girls. So I guess it's like a very, very popular brand amongst like high schoolers and things like that. Beats me. Anyway, let's continue on. We'll head northbound, but look at this. So this is what I'm talking about. Like when the sun is setting, it sets on the facade of these buildings and it kind of turns it almost like an auburn color, which makes a really nice contrast against that blue sky. It's really, really nice. I mean, a lot of the buildings here are like that architecturally. Beautiful buildings. We'll now wait for the light and cross northbound on Spring. This looks like a brand new building, which is nice because it's kind of in tune with the architectural integrity of the neighborhood with a modern twist. Across the street you have the Armani Exchange. On our side you have the Guess, as well as the Lacoste. It's always like more of a golf kind of shirt, I suppose. I've always really liked the building that houses the Uniqlo. As you can see here, it's just a classic white facade. I really, really like it.
I gotta let him win this one.
This is now Prince Street. Okay. This is also a very popular clothing store, Aritzia. It's on the corner of Prince Street and Broadway. There's even a line to get inside the Aritzia. But look at the building that it's in. This is the Prince Street subway station. This is the R and the W trains. Since we have the light, well, changing the light. Cross this way. I want to head over to Crosby Street again because there's a dig in, or a dig, because they've rebranded themselves. But the building that it's in is so stunning. I think the building is well over 100 years old. Here we have it. Prince Street and Crosby. Look at this building, everybody. How awesome is that? Isn't that neat? Those look like some of the original windows in there. It's a great building. We're going to go ahead and make a left on Lafayette Street. Look at the solarium on top of the building here. You could imagine how beautiful that apartment is. This is one of the La Colombe coffee houses. They have multiple locations throughout the city. I haven't been to this one, but the one that I usually frequent is right outside of the Bank of China, adjacent Bryant Park. If we follow Lafayette all the way up, this is going to take us into Astor Place.
My problem is like
Okay, you guys like it, so now we're on to grab our lunch.
This is the corner of Jersey Street. Get a load of this building. Really a marvel. Jersey Street is a really cool alleyway. Oftentimes we'll have creatives and things like that taking photos, videos for different shoots and things like that. And of course, this is East Houston Street, which is the official divider line between SOHO and NoHo. NoHo stands for North of Houston, and SOHO stands for South of Houston. There's also probably my top favorite coffee shop in the city, right here on the corner. It's called Gasoline Alley.
Why? Why can't you go now?
This is perfect. We have the light. We will now go across East Houston Street, but this is also a major subway stop. You can get tons of subway lines here. This is, well, one more would be Mulberry. You can see the sign. It's that black sign with the red under trim. Check it out. Lafayette Street. We're now going to cross Bleecker Street And it looks like there's a huge line for the Kith store, which is like an urban streetwear store that's very popular amongst the kids nowadays. You also have the Kith Treats, which is like an ice cream store but branded with that Kith. Wow, pretty big lines. This is Bond. "10 Bond Street" is this building right here. It's a co-op. It is a residential co-op building that is extremely sought after. And it's such a unique looking building. I just love Bond Street because of the original Belgian block streets you see right here. This is a cool vantage point looking back into Soho with a gorgeous, gorgeous sunset. But let's check out 10 Bond a little bit more. Okay, here we have 10 Bond. A great building in New York City's NoHo. And then we'll go ahead and walk directly over to Broadway. Okay, we're now on the corner of Bond and Broadway, where we will make a right. This is going to take us to the campus of New York University, NYU. Now you have West 3rd Street to the left. And Great Jones Street to the right. And once we get to West 4th, if you were to make a left, that will bring you to the campus of NYU. And even Washington Square Park. It'll run you right into the business school, the Stern School of Business. Here we are at West 4th. There used to be a McDonald's over here. I wonder if it's still here. I just can't wait until the spring and the summer to be able to film some videos around Washington Square Park. It's always such a good time over there. You have Washington Place. Oh, it does look like that McDonald's is here. It's right in front of us. And if you veer off to the right, that will bring you into Astor Place and even the East Village, headed over towards St. Mark's Place. So St. Mark's is a very, very popular area now for college students. It's kind of like the college town of NYU. I consider it that. There's a lot of interesting nightlife. It's a very young crowd. Lots of young working professionals tend to move over in that area, St. Mark's.
You gotta tell me.
And of course, Astor Place, you'll be able to get the subway.
Fucking mom, I was like, so long.
This McDonald's has been here forever. I remember going there like 1 o'clock in the morning. This is right off of Waverly Place.
I also think it was like the
You have the Uptown and Queens R and W train. Usually I just pop over to Astor Place to the right and get the 6 train. We're now merging on Astor Place. big Raising Cane's on the corner here. It's just such a different vibe than Midtown Manhattan. If you've ever heard of the Blue Man Group, they perform just off to the right on Lafayette.
There's really no recess.
Now here you have the Wegmans, and this used to be a tremendous Starbucks that since went under, because this Starbucks was essentially just a big homeless encampment. It was really horrible. It was right at the 6 train downtown Astor Place stop. But the area is kind of being revitalized. I mean, that Wegmans is really nice. And they even opened up a sushi restaurant inside the Wegmans, which I've yet to try, but knowing Wegmans, it's probably really good. It's called Next Door, being that it's next door to Wegmans. I believe the main corporate headquarters for Wegmans is in Rochester, New York. Wegmans since 1916. The original location in New York City is in the Brooklyn Navy Yard. And by the way, there's going to be another location on the Upper West Side of Manhattan by Lincoln Center, which I think that's probably going to be the best performing Wegmans location in Manhattan, if you were to ask me. That's, very close proximity, walking distance to New York City's Billionaires Row, 15 Central Park West, a lot of 5-star hotels over there, so you're probably going to see a lot of the residents of Billionaires Row and right there at 15 Central Park West, potentially going to Wegmans as opposed to going to Whole Foods. It is a great brand. The quality of the food, the staff are always really nice, really friendly. I'm just not sure if they have any delivery options, because that's one thing that they probably can't compete with Whole Foods on, because Whole Foods is obviously owned by Amazon. Amazon acquired Whole Foods several years ago, and it's very difficult, if not impossible, to compete with Whole Foods on same-day delivery for groceries. I believe the only major grocery chain that can compete is more than likely Walmart. And yes, I consider Walmart a major grocer chain. This is now East 10th Street. We're now walking up into Union Square, which is 14th Street. Across the street you have the Amsterdam Billiards and Bar. It's a cool place to play some pool. This is the Grace Church School. Oof. That biker almost clipped that lady. So you gotta be careful crossing the street. Not necessarily because of the vehicles. It's almost like the bikes are more dangerous than the vehicles nowadays. These, I call them the kamikaze food delivery bicyclists. They come down on these e-bikes and just hammer people, taking them out. Since we're here, we might as well take a pit stop at the Strand, which I think is here at East 12th, if I'm not mistaken. It is. The Strand is a great bookstore. They also have a collection of rare books. You can sell some of your books here too, but I would never recommend selling anything to the Strand because they are probably some of the worst lowballers on planet Earth. So if you have a really rare book, you're more than likely better off taking it to like Sotheby's or something if you got something really good. Because if you have a book that's worth 20 grand, these people will literally say, okay, I'll buy it for you, or I'll buy it from you for $300. Literally. Don't ask me how I know. Oh, perhaps there's like a book signing today at the Strand. That's cool. Wow, I wonder who's signing a book. Whoever it is, it must be pretty popular. As the line goes down about 2 blocks, well, up, technically, all the way to 13th Street. I always love looking at this building. This is 841 Broadway. Stunning building. This is right as you're about to enter Union Square. Alright everyone, we're coming up to 14th Street. If you enjoyed that walking tour, feel free to subscribe to the channel, leave a like on the video, and as always, we will see you in the next one. Thank you so much for watching. Take care.